Okay, so go ahead, Mika.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here this morning. And I'm excited to do this. I fell in love with this work when I got my first mini reading because I thought it was a really great foundation for starting people on their healing journey and figuring out where they were energetically. So we're going to do this presentation. I'm going to share my screen. Let me make sure I've got it ready to go. Share. And I think, can you guys see that? Can you see it okay, Danielle?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. And let me the full here. Okay, so it's understanding your soul contract. And I really figure out this time in life right now with all that's going on, I think more than ever, a lot of people want to really know what am I here for? What am I really supposed to be doing while I'm here and I have this time? And am I doing something fulfilling? So this work was started. I wish I could move this here. Danielle, can you see
Actually pretty
that
big.
bar?
It looks good. Can we see what?
Can you see that bar with
Oh,
the Zoom stuff on it?
uh, all
If
I
you
can
can,
see is your soul contract history and your.
okay, good.
Yeah.
That means I'm the only one that can see that. Okay, good. Soul contracts is a system of numerology, and it's also called the spiritual numerology of Moses. That was channeled by Frank Alper. So he was in the Arizona Metaphysical Society. It's about a 42-year-old system. It's based on 22 characters of the Hebrew alphabet and the six-pointed Star of David. And it incorporates elements of the Kabbalah, the tarot, and astrology. And I'm sure a lot of you out there probably already know about metaphysical studies. A lot of the stuff kind of runs together when it comes to different modalities of metaphysics and the occult. My teacher, Nicholas David Engen, and Dr. Maria Ariel Hilaire learned it from Frank Alper. So Nicholas is my teacher, and you may even have seen him on Gaia a few times. He's got this book here called The Soul Contract Decoded. And they've been teaching it since. And they've added their own experience of the work as they went along and added it into the method that we use today. And I think it's one of those things with practitioners if you've already got your own methods and stuff and then you use this method, then it kind of flows together. So I had a little bit of astrology background along with the tarot. So when the number system came in, a lot of it kind of made sense. A lot of it kind of just um, stuck together or merged together. So it's a really system that you can incorporate with different types of healing. Let's see here. And he also developed a software program so that it made it easier to calculate what your numbers for your soul contract would be. So the responsibility of the soul. I found this with International Academy of Astrology, and it kind of go along with what the belief system is for the soul contracts. It is said that before birth, each soul chooses its own future life. According to the myth, souls would go to the fates. There is a prophet that would arrange the souls in order to cast lots and samples of lives. The soul then picked their next life from the samples placed before them, and the life they choose would be their destiny. Choosing the next life gives the soul responsibility and purpose in their life on earth. The life chosen will be suitable to fulfill this purpose. That is, the condition on earth, the psychological state, and the spiritual path were all set from the beginning. So basically, before incarnation. So a soul contract, they believe the same, pretty much almost the same thing. When a soul decides to incarnate into reality, it goes to something like a karmic board and it receives a set of life possibilities for its next set of growth and learning. So this becomes the soul contract. And the set of these experience at a physical and a spiritual level that the soul sets out to experience in that particular lifetime. In this method, they believe a soul can incarnate up to about 48 to 72 times. When the soul embodies, this is translated into like a karmic matrix or web around the structures of the body and the auric field, and it radiates out into the world and creates the experiences that is encoded in that soul contract. So in choosing a name, the soul chooses frequencies that will create the soul contract. So the name, specifically your actual birth name, is usually telepathically passed through your mother or your father, and that's how you get named. I've heard of people say that, yes, my mother was going to name me. I felt like I'm supposed to be a Prudence, for example. I had a girlfriend. She said, I think my name was supposed to be Prudence. And then I asked my mom about it, and she said she thought about naming me Prudence, and then she decided to name me, another name. So telepathically, they believe this energy is passed on. And the soul contract is always based upon the birth certificate. So it's equivalent to like an astrological natal chart where you're getting the energies and the potential for that person in that lifetime and the challenge and the experiences that they may have. So nicknames, for example, prevents full expression of the soul energies by limiting the scope of the energies it can work through or express through. So sometimes when you give yourself a nickname, it may challenge you being able to reach your full potential and on your path. So soul contracts are about revealing your deepest truth of why you are here on earth. So not superficial ego reasons, but the actual real reason they believe that your soul is here to do what it's supposed to do and help. It brings order to the chaos. It shows a big picture, physical to soul destiny. And it shows how physical and spiritual talents work together, or if there's a blockage, it can be hindering. Offers recommendations on how you go through your contract and make it work for you. So this is the reason why I believe that most people are unhappy or unsatisfied when it comes to their lives and not quite sure why it is, because they're not living on the purpose with their reason for actually being here. So you usually get people that try to fulfill these with superficial things, like satisfying the soul with very physical, material type stuff, and it's not quite right. It still doesn't feel right to them. And I'm sorry if you guys are hearing trucks out here, even on Saturday, and down here it's Holy Week, but they're still doing construction regardless. So if you're hearing a little bit of that in the background, I apologize for that. So soul contracts, everything is energy, as you guys already know this group. Letters and numbers for this system is just like everything carries energy and vibrations. It's energetic. So by using your birth name, we create the Star of David with numbers that correspond to these letters. And in Hebrew, they're pretty much the same thing. And some of you probably already know that Hebrew is actually one of the 5 languages, original languages of creation. So with each letter of the English alphabet has a corresponding 1 in the Hebrew alphabet, as well as numeric value. The birth name gets numbers allocated to it, and these numerical vibrations indicate an entire range of experiences the soul will go through in a given aspect of its incarnation. So you can see here how the G eventually represents a 3. And the D here represents a 4. And then you have combinations of letters that turns into numbers as well. The Hebrew letters correspond to the major arcana of the Tarot. So the 6-pointed Star of David and the Tree of Life, illustrating the whole wheel of evolution. So it contains every energy a soul may go through and its incarnation. So here you'll see that there's symbols associated with the letters as well. So this would be 1, unity, power, stability. And you focus on these symbols along with the work that you're going to be doing for your spiritual growth. And it channels through energies that's going to help amplify and bring your purpose more forward for you and make it more available and reachable. Some people actually even meditate with these symbols, hold them, even just hold the thought in your head or the image in your head while you're meditating, things like that, especially if it's one that's one that you have to work through with your karma. It's good to do. Maybe do rituals around them. So we have 6 major areas in the incarnation of life, I think. So we have here your physical karma, your spiritual karma, your physical talents, and then we also have your spiritual talents, your physical goals, and your spiritual goals. So we're going to break those down for you guys today. So in the sum, you see the star here, and we're going to go through a demonstration later. But we turn it into the Star of David, and in the middle you have your soul destiny. So the number of the 6 vibrations in your physical and spiritual areas of life produces the 7th aspect. And that's what your soul is like journeying towards. That's its mission overall. And it's the soul destiny, which is placed in the center. So as you notice here as well, we have 2 triangles. This hexagram turns into a pointing down triangle, and the spiritual ones are pointing up towards the sky. And the Hermetic principles is as above, so below, so it kind of gives you an idea of how it works here on the physical plane. On Earth, you've got your pointing down triangle, and as you're ascending, you're reaching your spiritual goals, you've got your triangle that points up. And so everything that happens in this microcosm has a reflection on the macrocosm. So as we move through life, we go through these physical into these spiritual aspects. And you'll see here that they believe that the spiritual really starts to kick in for most people after 35 to 42. These are already working. These are already active when you're born. They're just not as prominent because you're going through your physical aspects of life predominantly. Now, there are probably a few may be able to stay on their path with their soul destiny throughout life, or at least find their way back to their purpose eventually before this age range, this 35 to 42. But you will note in the chakra studies as well, they mention how you open up to more spiritual aspects as you go through these 7-year cycles through your chakras and stuff like that. So it's kind of similar in that way. You have to be on a growth path and open to your process of your journey in order for these actual spiritual ones to kick in any earlier or actually be activating into your life early on. The positioning of the numbers in your physical talents help to determine how easily you can burn through your karma. So for instance, you'll see here these 18 nines on this physical with a physical karma in 5. This is, this is mine. And when you have a higher number in here with more experiences, usually it's easier to burn through a karma with a single number and less experiences. It's easier, and it depends too. Sometimes if you have a spiritual number and the physical talents, it'll be a little more difficult for you to get through your physical karma stuff, and you just have to do different things to burn through that karma and make it work for you. So our goal is the union of the physical world and your spirit. So a lot of times in life, we realize that we're only focusing mainly on the material, and a lot of our time is being spent focusing on what we can see here, the physical side of things. When the goal of a soul contract is to make sure that you're using that spiritual aspects along with the physical, because what it does is just makes everything, your life better, it makes everything work faster, you see results, and everything is just beneficial for you and those that are around you. So it's the union of the spirit and the physical world through you. And you're going to be resonating that out to the world. And this system, it is said about 2/3 of your karma that you will be working through in this lifetime comes automatically, energetically through your parents. They created you, all the environment surrounding energies are getting passed on to you while you're being created. So this system actually believes that 2/3 of your karma is about coming through from your parents' energy. In evolutionary astrology, it said it's about at least about 50% of your energetic patterns that are in your auric field and influence your life are not produced by you. And obviously, it could not just be by your parents, it could be just by the energetic surroundings of the morphic fields that are where you are when you're incarnated. This can be looked at in an overlay reading. So this also shows the energetic patterns passed through your family and the people that are important in your life and are main influencers that are in your life or have been in your life. And you'll also see, I've noticed in my work, doing this work, I've noticed that sometimes if you have not worked through the energetic patterns with the parent, they may show up and another person in your life, whether it's a best friend, whether it's someone in business, a marriage partner, whatever. You'll see those energies show up again because they haven't been worked through, or there's something about it that needs to be worked on. So types of soul contracts. Your general soul contract is the one I just mentioned with your karma and your talents. And so your karma is what you're going to burn through. What is your challenges in this lifetime, and what do you need to work on to reach the next level? The talents are things that you're naturally, innately have. Sometimes they're not being utilized though. Sometimes you get off track and those talents, and that's another reason why some people feel like they're not fulfilling their life purpose or they're not happy, is because they're not utilizing those talents that they're naturally born with. You also have goals, of course, and those goals are what you're bringing off the talent, the karma to do to reach with those talents, and those goals are things that are going to make you feel fulfilled in this lifetime. And then, of course, your soul destiny is all about the ultimate. This is what my contribution to the world. This is what I'm giving. So down here, it's the same similar thing. The only difference is some people don't take well to the word karma. So if you're dealing with, for example, someone that's very 3D, very in the physical and not so much in the spiritual, this is a good way to do the same contract, but you're just using different words. You're using more words that are relating more to them being in 3D reality. Challenges, qualities, the things that make you you, and those things about you that are unique, and your drives, what drives you, what is the things that are going to make you get up in the morning to do what you do, and then what your real life purpose is and what the goal is ultimately, what all these things are driving you towards. And so we use these parts and business groups and corporations and things like that when they have to set up businesses and see what clients, will work with them and how everything fits together for what their business is about. So as you can see here, this is another way of showing you another level of the soul contract. So you have your birth level, and then this level here is a layering. So overlay readings, for example, like I said, how they influence your energy, how other people are going to influence you or your environment, the things around you and what you're doing. And so these overlay readings, they give you information about your nicknames. They give you information about name changes through life, like marriages, etc. And so think of your birth chart as your cake, and that's the foundation. Those numbers are always there. Those numbers are what you incarnated with, and these nicknames, the names that you may change through life for whatever reason, those are layerings on that cake. And then also too, with the overlays, it also shows your relationships and how with yourself and also with others in your life. and they show how they influence and how they link into each other and how they connect. So with this, you have your businesses, like I was saying before. These guys use a different wording system, but basically it's the same type of number system, and it tells them a lot. So it can enhance business relationships through finding the right person for a specific position, enhancing their staff performance because you're putting people, they're not only they're happy with the job they're doing, but you're putting them in the right place. Developing optimum people management strategies specifically tailored to each individual. You'll probably get people to stay and work with you longer if they're doing what their heart and their soul is designed to be doing. Achieving more efficient conflict resolutions, partnering people up, improving client, supplier, business partner, and associate relationships, things like that. And it also helps with overall business aspects, naming your business, naming your books, your websites, anything pertaining to having a specific goal around what you're doing. So the soul contract work can help with all of that. This one here is about name optimizations. So sometimes people feel stuck. Things aren't moving fast enough. They just feel like something's just off. So name optimizations will help them break through the karmic and the goal energies in their birth charts that are holding them back. So you also get here energetically, oops, I'm sorry about that. There. You also get energetically a name has outlived its usefulness. So some people also feel it's just time for a change. So when I was going through my training, we had a few people there. They just felt that either it just wasn't the right name, they needed to change it. And you get this feeling. I've heard people even before I started taking this work had certain reasons around changing their name in their lifetime. And I was one of those people. I changed, I had already dropped my first name before, right after high school, but I even changed my last name eventually because it just felt right to go on my journey. Also, your parents may have wanted to give you another name, like I was mentioning before with one of my friends, and then they changed their mind. So that's another reason why people get the urge or the need or feeling that they want to change their name or optimize it somehow. Some people may only even change a letter in the name, and it still reads the same, Sarah, but the Sarah may have two R's instead of one R, and that changes the energy frequency of the name altogether as well. So it doesn't have to be a total name change. It could be even just a letter or two here or there. Name optimizing helps to accelerate their movement into the next phase of their life, and you can create a name by particular qualities and energies that you would like to be expressed in you and out to the world. Baby naming is another thing that is done with this method as well. It is believed that your baby knows its name before incarnated and will transfer that name telepathically. So you can customize the energy and help bring out and nurture those unique talents and goals of your child while helping them avoid and release the karmic patterns faster. So this is kind of pre-chart for soul contract, and it's also pre-chart for almost like astrological. So when you would have an astrological chart, of course, and you go to somebody, the baby is usually already born. You already know the birth date, the time, the things like that, and you can see energetically what's going on with that child, what kind of challenges that child's going to have in their lifetime, the things that you can cultivate and nurture for this child and put them on the path for them instead of kind of molding them into something that the world wants them to be or whatever. You're actually working with this person's energy. So this way you get to do it a little prior to. You get to work the name prior to the birth. And so it gives you a little more I guess like, how would I call it? Like pre-structuring for and pre-foundational stuff for your baby, instead of when people go afterwards and get their child's chart read and find out what they need to do to work with that child. Okay, so we're going to summarize again some of these benefits. So it helps you to understand if your name you're using is helpful or challenging for you. It helps you to understand how significant people in your life in the past or currently is influencing your energy. Baby naming for the optimization, Business naming for partnerships and connections and maximizing your business success helps understand the bigger picture for more purposeful work, develop the best businesses and products and services. So these are some of the ways of working through this. And then a whole family thing, of course, like some people will go through and chart out things with their whole family and know how to work with the people that they're surrounded by and in contact on a regular basis. So I co-create this with my clients in a foundational way. So that's why I found this to be very, very efficient for when you're doing counseling, energetic work, anything like that, that where you want to know when this person comes to you, where are they? You know, not what they say, because a lot of that's mental. Where are they energetically and their auric field? What is the things that are subconsciously there that they're not consciously aware of? So this soul contract brings these type of things out. So it maps the energetics. It's giving you kind of like a blueprint of to go on. And what I like that it does is it works on inner child and shadow work. So one of my mentors, you may have heard of him, Noel Eastwood. He is a psychiatrist that, well, he doesn't practice as much anymore, but when he did, he was working with clients with inner child work big time. And he told me, he said that is one of the major things that people kept coming back to him for, and why people were referring people to him is because of the fact that Noel was working on those hidden aspects of the self that never got healed from being a child. And now we're just adult children running around with the same issues and causing the same energetic traumas and patterns unconsciously without clearing this stuff. So what you notice in soul contract, I noticed immediately is besides giving you an energetic idea of where people are, it goes into helping with inner child work. And shadow work also kind of combines with the inner child work because both of them it's aspects of the self that got formed young in life to either protect the self or either build some kind of personality or identity of the self that they could go through life with. So those kind of intertwine together. So yeah, here, most of us have a wounded inner child. And when that part of the self is not healed, we become adults that are still looking for ways to nurture and heal that part of ourselves, but unconscious to the effect it still has on our adult life. So as the shadow work is part of the inner child, it heals also those dark corners and places that we didn't want to look at and bring those things to the surface so they actually can be felt and they can actually be healed. So it's very, very good at bringing those things out and kind of subtly too. You don't even actually kind of realize that's exactly what you're doing when you're working on some of this stuff. I found it to be a really healing tool for most clients because they're really not always consciously aware of where they should begin in their journey to heal themselves or where to start. So it gives a good foundation or a good starting point for that. It helps you to gain an idea of where your clients is in their evolutionary cycles and how they can progress forward. It also shows them where to remove energetic blocks in which aspect of your life, along with suggestions of how to accomplish removing those blocks. So here, I actually have some more on my website, and you guys can find that at the end of the article on Prepare for Change, but on my website links are there too. And I also have a couple of audio ones there. So Erica went through hers, and she said it put her whole life into perspective, but in a way that was digestible for her. I have been feeling like there was something wrong with me, but during the reading, I started to understand how I actually was holding myself back. Jenny, she said after a session, I felt a sense of awe that my name, birth date, and numerology could reveal such an accurate, profound information about why I came into this physical body, what my soul contract for this lifetime, and how having a knowledge about my strength and vulnerabilities can guide me to ways of being, doing, and reacting to environment and propel me forward on my path to fulfillment, joy, and service. So more of the testimonials are on the website, and Danielle also had an experience with the soul contract method, so she probably can give you what her feedback is as well, what her experience was. And we're going to go into a demonstration now on the soul contract, and I'm going to do a mini. This is basically, this would be how a mini soul contract would be, instead of if someone just wanted a not a full one and they just wanted to get an overall glance and then see if they wanted to move forward from there. So Danielle, you want to give your experience of what you thought about when you had your soul contract, and just give them a rundown before we do the yeah.
For sure. So my experience was really, really great because Mika and I didn't tell Mika anything about myself, of course. And so there were a few things that came up. Of course, the life themes is how I call it, which are challenges, which are things that keep coming up for me just for learning in different situations. So the themes were there, kind of bang on. Definitely provides you with a lot of affirming into knowing kind of, you know, what is it? Affirming you into identifying the situations. So it just gives you the base. So you're like, okay, yeah, this keeps happening. This is, you relate it to your life experiences based on the information that you're reading about yourself. And a couple of cool things is I like how Mika sends a total overview of supportive, actionable steps you can take to begin to implement, or I guess implement ways you can address these challenges, ways you can address what I call the life themes that keep coming up. So, and actual tangible ways to do that. Because I'm all about action. I love hearing information, but then, okay, what do I do with it now? How can I apply it to my daily life? And so that what I felt like was a really great tool that you can just kind of reference. I actually pulled mine up. I won't share screen with it, but and then another thing Mika picked up on right away was, you know, I donated a kidney to my mom like when I was in 2001. So Mika's like zoned in on that. And I've had a lot of different things happen with this, my kidney not there over the years as I've been going to healing, you know, other workshops or whatnot. So yeah, Mika zoned in on that right away in terms of the physical body. So that was really helpful for me because I'm like, well, I thought I dealt with all that. Thought there was nothing there, but no, maybe a kidney cleanse might be helpful. So that was, you know, something physical that you could do, right? So I don't know. That was my initial experience, and I, of course, there's lots more I could say, but like, obviously, there's probably other people that have questions, and we want to get to the demonstration. So, but yeah, no, it was really great, Mika. I really think, just in terms of giving you that affirming, okay, I'm on the right track. I'm not crazy. These things do happen to me. This is my life. Like, I always believed giving the kidney and donating my kidney to my mom. There were so many things along that 2-year journey of me on my mission to give it to her that when Mika said that, it actually warmed my heart because I was like, I always knew I had that as a contract. Like, I knew it, you know, because at the time it didn't even feel like it was, it's breezy, no problem. I'm just doing it. I was on a mission. That just made perfect sense.
Thank you, Danielle. Thank you. And we got Rebecca here. Becky, hi, Becky. Yeah, go ahead and unmute yourself because you're going to interact with me. So soul contracts are interactive. They're not just me telling her, okay, this is your life story. She's actually affirming, and as we go through this, you're kind of layering off. People usually feel a lot better after they do these because they're working through stuff while they're going through the soul contract. So, Becky, are you okay with everyone hearing a little bit about my overall of what I got from
Yeah,
your soul contract? And
yeah,
okay, I
absolutely.
just want to, yeah, okay.
And thank you, Mika. I really appreciate it.
And you're very welcome. They energize me. I enjoy doing these. So I'm going to share my screen with everybody and show you Becky's contract. Here, let me see. Oh, there it is. Okay, just a minute. Becky's here. All right. So immediately after I saw Becky's contract, once you start learning the numbers, it pops out at you. But what popped out right away, immediately, Becky, was that you have a very fiery chart. You may be a Cancer astrologically, as far as your sun sign. I don't know what your moon or your rising is, but immediately, fire jumped out of your chart, especially because you've got a lot of, this is Leo energy, this is Leo energy, this is Aries energy, very fiery. This one here is more, and I'm going to break down a few things for you because I also looked at um, your personality card and your soul card, and they kind of blend in with what's going on here in your soul contract. So what I have for you right off the top is, not only is this a fiery chart, but your vibes here. Did you have issues with, in the past, and maybe even as a child, not being able to speak your truth or having people stop you from speaking your truth?
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
And these are your dominant vibrations. As you notice here, you've got 4 5s and you've got 4 9s. So these are her dominant vibrations. If you have 4 of a number in your chart, they're going to be a big influence over your lifetime. And these are going to be things that you need to work on in order to get through and burn through your karma to feel like you're filling your destiny. You also have here power and control issues here. And a lot of times too, when you have it in the karmic aspect, sometimes it's also from past life, from childhood abuse or things like that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate any way on it?
Yeah, I was, as a child, I grew up with my grandmother, but I was sexually abused by my uncle, and I didn't have any conscious memories till I was probably in my 50s, and I worked for 5 years after that time to work through what came up. But it was a big time for me. But a lot of my life has felt like I was on autopilot because I wasn't aware of it. I completely blocked it. And after my mother died in 2006, I just had a lot of conscious recall. So then I really felt like I could, come into my own a bit more once I cleared that.
Oh, great. So you have been working on it. It's definitely came up, and you've been working on it because I also get here too with your chart. I got that you had a lot of experiences in your lifetime, and also too a lot of undecision, like not sure what to do, imbalances.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with these numbers here too, it could be a lot of hardship starting off early in life. And
Yeah.
you wind up building endurance though, so you're probably by now, you're probably like I've been through it all. I can
Yeah,
handle anything.
I think I became aware spiritually probably when I was about 14.
Yes.
I read a book on Buddhism, and it sort of opened up my whole understanding of life. My grandmother died at that time. Um, and I always have seen everything as a conscious learning experience. My understanding has always wanted to grow and to heal whatever I can't see. So, but there's been a lot. It's felt very calming, my life, in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's been good as well.
Oh, good, good. And I was going to say, because emotional, so I'm figuring that from the sound of your voice as well, I'm picking up stuff from your voice, you found a way to be able to control the imbalances and the emotional ups and downs.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So see, this is a way, for example. So Becky has gone through enough experiences in her lifetime to start burning through, and you can tell she's burning through her karma and she's working through her karma. And if she gets off balance, Becky, now what do you do? Because what's what we will do for people who will be like, yes, I know these issues are here, but I'm constantly still feeling like I can't get my emotions under control. I feel like I'm always all over the place. What did you do physically?
I did a lot of, well, not, I don't know about physically. I walk a lot.
Hmm.
That's really helpful. Being in nature.
This is your nature one right here, Becky. So
Uh-huh.
when you said you do walk a lot, and that is physical. That's doing something physical, gardening,
Mm-hmm.
anything like that that's going to ground you with physical or earth energies is good for you because you've got so much fire in your chart.
Yeah, I've done a lot of things like Michael Singer, the Untethered Soul, sort of learning to understand my emotions and not project them out, but also understand, you know, when they're coming to you, it's not your stuff, and you know, going within and feeling it within and clearing it that way. So I think, you know, it's for me, it's been a psychological learning as well as a spiritual growth through just looking up, you know, what works for me and how I can share it with others, and you know, what way I can help myself and others. Yeah, basically.
Exactly. So she's already telling you, so she gives you an idea that she's burning through, because if you know the numbers, this one here is also about absorbing other people's stuff. So yes, you have to, it's a Cancer also too here, Becky. So you're a Sun Cancer. 8 also is a Cancer energy. So this one here is about emotions and feelings, and very much about making sure exactly you have that auric field sealed and protected, and you know what's yours and what somebody else's energy is. And then you have to mix it with these fiery energies of wanting to be out there. But in a way, are you doing something that you're using your verbal talents? Because with these fives, that's how you work these guys, and you naturally have a given talent for being expressing yourself through the voice, or
Yeah, I
okay.
do, not as much as I did, but often I'll sort of do tarot readings for people, but not so much, you know, sort of predictive, but more working with them to look where they can go forward, and you know, bringing their understanding into conscious awareness so they can work with that. So I like doing things like that, but I don't do it as much as I did. But I feel like I'm in sort of end of one chapter, beginning of another. There's a strong community around me here, and I've sort of got choices to make within that as well, what to do. So yeah,
It's suggested. Go ahead, Becky.
No, it's okay. That was all really.
Oh, I was going to say, yes, it's suggested that you utilize that talent. And to be honest, she's got here nines in her soul destiny. It's nines are more challenging when you're going through your karma. And like I said, if I didn't hear what Becky was already doing, I can already tell by what she's telling me that she's burning through that, and she's already working through the challenges of being unbalanced, or feeling like there's so much going on that she can't keep up. I can tell she's working through that as well. That 9 in the soul destiny, you can do anything. This burns through. 9s are dragon energy. And that's why you have to be so careful with it too, because sometimes it scares people off. And that's another dominant vibration of hers. And she might even, and you mentioned that you were having some relationship stuff. So check with your relationship stuff and see if it's pertaining anything back to power control issues. One way or the other, power balances. Either someone feels like you're taking their power, or you feel like they're taking yours. And also, too, are you being heard? Are you speaking your truth with these 5s? So these are the things you want to look at if you're having some relationship issues right now. But the 9s can scare people. So just remember that when you're working with 9s. But
yeah, I'm aware of that. I've realized that a lot in my life. You know, sometimes I can feel really passionate and I can see things really clearly. But sometimes people aren't, you know, not even particularly if it's right or wrong what I'm saying, but you know, sometimes people aren't, you know, I do scare people off. I don't mean to, you know, I can just be quite powerful in the way I see things.
Exactly. This could be an intense chart. So yeah, that's long as you're aware of that and you keep those energy, that fire and balance, you can do anything. So anything that you're thinking that you need to finish fulfilling in this lifetime, this 9s fires all of these parts of your chart. So I'm not surprised, like how she's saying that she's, you know, yeah, I'm aware of this, I'm working on this, I do this for this, because these 9s will fire up all of these guys here and make sure that they're working and active and everything. So this is a good general overall of a mini for her. Also, I wanted to mention, because since I did her personality card, And basically, the personality card is about in your lifetime, how are you going to go through life, and what are you going to be, and what's going to reflect back to you in karmic wise. So fair and honest, you've got justice as your personality card. So long as you use that power wisely, that 9, and be fair and just, and and how you deal with others, you're going to be fine with your, and everybody will flow to you, and you'll get your manifest all of your potential in your chart. Your high priestess, because you have a lot of good knowledge, that's your soul card. It's the high priestess, and you've got a lot of wise wisdom to share with people. So long as these are in check, the truth and how you give out that truth and how you speak it, because Aries can be a little impatient and short, and sometimes, so you have to watch how that goes as well, as long with the Leo. With the Leo can be a little arrogant and and boisterous and things like that. So you have, as though, if you can balance this, which it sounds like you are, then you can give people the information that they need, that you feel you need to share with them, and be that wise priestess guide. And long as you do your fair and honesty and just in your dealings with people, all of this, yeah, it's beautiful. You got a good chart.
Thank you. Thanks very much. I really appreciate what you've said.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're very welcome, Becky. Yeah, like I said, it's fun. I enjoy doing them too, and at least giving people some ideas. Now, like she said, she's already doing walks and things like that, to balance herself and re-energize herself. Some of the things that they would recommend for her to do is grounding sessions. Anytime she starts feeling antsy, to get out and put her feet on the ground and touch the earth, or hug a tree, and get that grounding energy back into her system. Another thing, she probably, I don't know if you like to dance, Becky.
Yeah, I do. I do,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, because that would be another thing. Doesn't have to be any specific type of dance. She can even do just trance dance, just free flow, but movement to work that energy that's in that chart. So when she gets anxious or agitated or whatever, go to something like that as well, would be another thing, would be good for her to do. So yes, thank you, Becky.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And now I am ready for questions, for anybody who's got any questions for me.
I've got a question right off. Would you be able to, I was just going to say, if you want to leave Becky's chart up for a second.
Yeah, sure.
I just had a question.
Okay, let me share screen.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, share. Okay.
Okay, so with the numbers, is there like a quick and dirty way you can interpret numbers? Say if you knew nothing about soul contracts and you wanted, there's somewhere where like 9-9 is this, or 5-5 is this.
You know what? I tried to cross them with the tarot. I actually tried to cross them with tarot, and it's interesting because, like, I was mentioning, like, it's interactive, because this isn't something you just do like a astrological birth chart and then just send them over and say, hey, this is what I pulled up and this is what I saw in your chart. As you talk with the person, because there's so many different aspects of these numbers that don't, it pertains in a particular time. Just like when somebody reads their birth chart for astrology, and some things doesn't relate, or they can't relate to some of it right away, but then they relate to it later. So some of these numbers, when I was trying to correlate them with the tarot, some of them, like, okay, I can see the 9 and the energy and the 9, and then sometimes you're like, okay, so I think it's a little more of a study of the Kabbalah and that tree of life and how those energies blend. It's a little bit of so much. It's hard to just go one place and try to say, okay, 9s mean this all across the board. It's going to be a combination of energies and what it means, and even the symbology. So no, you're not going to really go one place and find it. It's almost like I said, like how they combine the tree of life, they combine the tarot, and they combine astrologies. You see little points here or there that bring them all together. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording just in case people would like to ask, freely ask questions.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.